Hello, welcome back to the Clubhouse. I'm Chris, this is Joe.
Hey.
Today we're going to talk about our latest haul from an art supply shop we went to yesterday. So let's get started.
Cool. Start.
Alright. So first things first, this one's just a little cheesy thing. We bought these letters, these kind of 3D shaped letters. A lot of art supply shops sell letters like these and some kind of other things that we pick up often wherever we go. J and C, I guess you can figure out what that's all about. We'll show you the other ones. And yeah, they had some ones that actually might have been kind of cooler, but they're very similar to some other ones we had, so we didn't get those. But it's a fun little tradition having these things around.
And I think those might be really good to paint, no?
Yeah, I think quite often they make them that way. I mean, white I guess would be the blank canvas color, but the brown ones we have, you could also paint on.
So the next project that I would like to do is to bind a book. I have actually a book about binding books that I really like, that I bought a while ago, and I also found some really nice tutorials on YouTube. So I would really like to try that and see if, you know, what I can do with it and how it works. For that reason, I bought this thing here. It's an awl.
Yeah? What do you use it for?
It's a device to make holes. So if you have like the cover of the book and the pages, you need to make holes so you can string the yarn through. And this is that thing. This is what you use that for. And
for all you life hacker DIY people out there that don't either have an art supply store nearby or have trouble getting one of these, or you're just lazy or cheap, I mean, I guess a poor man's awl would be ice pick. Although, just judging...
Who has an ice pick?
In America, everybody has an ice pick. We like ice in America. Outside of America, ice isn't so big.
I was actually quite surprised that they had it, but I guess it just means that it was a good store that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not very expensive, so I was very happy about that. The other thing I need for making a book is a cover. Right now I thought I would try cardboard. And since I was not smart enough to collect cardboard from our trash, I just had to buy some. It was not very expensive, but I bought this kind of cardboard. It's like that thick. And I cut it there. I bought it in this color, which is kind of like an off-white eggshell kind of white, and I also bought it in grey. Yeah, and I hope that those will work fine. And I also needed to buy some pages, like the inside pages of the book. I bought this paper.
It's like a thicker paper.
It says here in English, pasteboard. I don't know if it means anything to you. It's 300 grams. It's like this. I bought it in a dark color and also in a light color to have like different, kind of pages. Yeah, we will see how
it comes out. Yeah?
How it comes out, how well they work, and I'm sure we will let you know.
Yeah, cool. Why don't you show them what you plan on binding the book with? What your string is?
Yesterday we also went to a different shop here in Vienna. It's like a small design store, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that they had things like this, but they had this yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it in 3 colors, in neon, and this is the string I would like to bind it with. It is not string made for binding. It is not waxed. I don't know how well it will work, but you know, I have to try it out and see.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is pens. I bought many pens. It was a glorious haul. I can't show you all the pens because there's just so many, but they were awesome. I got paint pens of different sizes and brands. Most of them that I got were either 1 to 2 millimeters in thickness, which looks like that. We'll get some close-ups for you, and some that have a much more finer end. I think 0.7. Yeah, 0.7 millimeters. I like to use paint pens for all kinds of little art projects. The great thing about the paint pen, as opposed to a normal marker, is that you can go over top of stuff and it doesn't bleed. You can use a lighter color on top of a darker color, and it pops right out. It doesn't get swallowed up by the darker color.
What's the difference? Like, what's the difference in what's inside?
Well, it's just paint. Depending on the brands you get. One brand I buy often is Molotov, which is a spray paint, a spray can company. They make spray paint, and they also make markers with the exact same paint. And so it's, you know, they come in a lot of cool different colors.
But what is in the other pens? If
the other pens is just ink, not
so
paint.
That was the thing.
Yeah, cool.
So you got all paint pens?
So I got all paint pens. I got like 35 paint pens of just many different colors and shapes and sizes.
And what brands did you buy?
I got 2 brands. I got Edding, which is a pretty famous brand. It's known and trusted. I really like it. And I also got Posca pen, which had actually a lot more colors available. I don't know if it was just the shop that we were at, but I remember these from when I was a kid. Like, they've been around forever. It's made by Uni, I think the Uni Ball like pen company. I've liked them quite a lot. I also got, though, some ink pens, some very fine ones, 0.1 millimeters. I got those in black. And the reason why I got these is because you can do a lot of really fine details, some really fine lines over top of stuff. When it's much bigger, the ink always bleeds, yeah? And the ink, obviously, the better paper you have, the less it bleeds, but still you can't get around it. And if you have a really fine tip, you can do some really fine detail without losing it. Yeah, like a really small circle will bleed and turn into a dot, and we don't want a dot. We want a small circle. So I got that. So last thing, for a long time I've been wanting this kind of cutting surface. When I use like an X-Acto knife or you know, anything that I'm trying to cut onto a surface with. I scar up the tables that are underneath the paper that I'm cutting, but this surface, it's really it's kind of slightly soft on the outside. Actually, on both sides, if you can see, it's 3-ply. The middle is a really hard bit, and then this softer bit on the outside. It allows you to make a nice cut with your blade. And instantly that cut that you make just, I don't know, fills right back in. That way you can still draw on the surface without it making a line. I've been filling in something on a graffiti, filling in some letters on a piece of paper, and been so frustrated because the table underneath has been scarred with a sharp cut or with a hard pen. And that comes through and it ruins your piece right away. This ends that. And if you can see, I've already even got a little paint on it. I just started using it right away. Yeah, so that was a pretty cool purchase that we got. Something, in addition to our toolkit, something I hadn't had for a while. Yeah.
Cool. So we hope that you enjoyed our little haul here. If you have any recommendations for pens or paper or other things that we should use that you really like, please let us know. Yes, and see you in the next video.
Ciao. Bye.